InvestorIdeas.com Podcasts.
Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of InvestorIdeas.com Podcasts, looking at cannabis news, stocks to watch, as well as insights from thought leaders and experts. I'm Taylor Van Zandt, your host, and today we'll be looking at a few announcements from the Green Organic Dutchman Holdings Limited, trading on the TSX as TGOD and the OTC as TGOD-F, Aurora Cannabis Incorporated, trading on the New York Stock Exchange as ACB and the TSX as ACB, Radiant Technologies Incorporated, trading on the TSX Venture as RTI and the OTC as RDDTF. We have VAPN MG Ventures Corporation trading on the CSE as VAPN, and CannTrust Holdings Incorporated trading on the TSX as TRST, and the New York Stock Exchange as CTST. But first, as yesterday was Mother's Day, we start by looking at some of the data from New Frontier data regarding cannabis consumption among mothers. Among 3,000 self-described American cannabis consumers surveyed by New Frontier data, mothers use cannabis more frequently than do women without children. Those whose children are minors are more than likely, so 30% more likely to describe consumption as an important aspect of their identities than are those with adult children, which is only 17% likely, or those without children, 18%. Likewise, those with children under 18 are more likely, so 34% more likely to spend more than $100 per month on cannabis than either those with adult children and those without children. So overall, mothers are 29% more likely, 54% versus 42%, to primarily or only consume cannabis alone than are women without children, while nearly a third of mothers, 30%, said that they only do so solitarily, using it slightly higher among mothers whose children are adults rather than minors. And mothers are more likely than women without children to say that family members know about their cannabis use, of 78% versus 65%, yet mothers, 82%, are more likely than women without children to say that their friends know about their cannabis use. So in honor of Mother's Day, if you haven't already, maybe have a discussion with your mother about cannabis and find out if she is using it at the moment, because it could be a surprise for you. Also in the news, Alberta's cannabis sector has created a unified voice with the launch of Alberta Cannabis Council. The ACC will serve to elevate the awareness of Alberta's cannabis sector and advocate on the behalf of their members across Alberta. This is guided by 5 pillars. The ACC will engage, advocate, educate, protect the public, and give back. As far as the members for the founding board, we have Nathan Meeson from Fire and Flower, Ashley Newman of Queen of Bud, Gerald Proctor of Sundial Growers Incorporated, Jeff Muji from 420 Investments, and Jesse Baudry of Candor Cannabis Incorporated. The unified voice we have created with ACC will help us educate in a responsible, safe, and transparent manner, as well as advocate for stakeholders and government on key issues, said Michael Russell, Executive Director. We're very proud of the team we have built, and with representatives from all over the cannabis sector, including retailers and LPs. So why is this interesting? Recently, there was the Health Canada board that was formed. We've seen this from province to province. There's a few different boards that are coming up, or councils, usually involving people directly involved in the cannabis industry so they can advocate on their behalf or the industry's behalf with the government. That's becoming a more and more prominent thing throughout Canada, and provincially I think we're going to see more of these council groups show up. Also, it's a good thing for the industry and a good thing for the government because this helps get people with knowledge and experience talking to people who are making the regulations who often lack some of that knowledge and experience. So I think that this is a good step moving forward, and I'm sure we'll see more councils like that pop up in other provinces. So starting with the Green Organic Dutchman Holdings Limited and its wholly owned subsidiary Hemp Poland has entered into an agreement with Mediacos UG to be the exclusive distributor of Cannabis Gold, its premium hemp CBD brand for the German pharmacy market. So Mediacos UG spun out of APNOD, a leading German online pharmacy, and is managed by a team of seasoned industry executives who demonstrated expertise in marketing and distribution of health and wellness products. It currently distributes a broad portfolio of products to a network of more than 15,000 pharmacies and can capitalize on over 10 million customers. With a population of over 82 million, Germany plays a pivotal role in TGOD's international expansion strategy, commented Brian Atide, CEO of TGOD. We're thrilled to be working with Mediacos' experienced team as we continue to solidify Cannabis Gold's position as a leading brand within the European market. With the CBD quickly gaining popularity in Germany, we're proud to be partnering with TGOD's Hemp Poland as the exclusive distributor of the Cannabis Gold brand for the German pharmacy market, stated Nicholas Primbus, CEO of Mediacos UG. Their recent organic certification is an important point of differentiation which will resonate with German consumers. So why is this important? TGOD's getting into Germany, as well as this German company does make a good point here about the organic certification. Again, TGOD is one of the few companies really pushing for this and has a lot of the organic certification even for their oils and extracts, which is a big advantage, and it will be a good marketing tool for the German market or for any other market for that matter. Next, looking at Aurora Cannabis Incorporated, as well as Radiant Technologies, who announced that Aurora has taken delivery of Radiant's first commercial batch of finished cannabis derivatives from Radiant's proprietary extraction platform. So with this first batch, Radiant has proven its enhanced ability to produce cannabinoid derivatives at commercial scale and will continue to scale up production at Radiant's cannabis facility in Edmonton, reaching an expected eventual annual throughput of approximately 300,000 kilograms of cannabis biomass at this single location. So this partnership between Radiant and Aurora was established in 2017 after the completion of a research joint venture that validated Radiant's MAP trademark extraction technology was capable of superior cannabinoid extraction at commercial scale. So for Aurora, the relationship with Radiant forms an important component of its derivative product strategy, providing a greater return on the biomass allocated for extraction, favorable cost advantages, and significantly increases extraction capacity. So commenting on this, we have Terry Booth. Aurora recognized early that high throughput, high quality extraction technologies would be a competitive advantage in a rapidly developing cannabis industry, said Terry Booth, CEO of Aurora. Our investment will begin to pay dividends with Radiant achieving fully licensed commercial status. Once scaled up, the addition of Radiant's technology will significantly increase our ability to deliver high-value cannabis products at scale, complementing our existing international extraction capabilities, which will support a full suite of derivative products. So Mr. Booth continued, CBD derived from hemp requires the level of throughput that Radiant's technology and state-of-the-art second facility will provide to existing and future medical wellness and consumer markets. And we look forward to working with Dennis and the Radiant team to further our goal position in the derivatives market. So again, Radiant Technology, they're not the only technology coming out with this type of program or this type of extraction method. It is the MAP trademark is significant to them, but there is again Valens Growworks and a few other companies that are in the same space as them, also partnered with different companies, obviously not Aurora. So I do find this interesting that they've basically proven concept now of their technology and that they can get it to scale, and especially with the derivatives again, consumables market supposedly coming on this October. This is going to be, again, a big issue, or at least a big concern for any company moving forward, is can they get the scale for their hemp or for their THC biomass, depending on what they're going for. Obviously, CBD is a little bit more on trend right now. Next, looking at VAPN Ventures Corporation, who announced that its capital stock of VAPN was listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange effective today under the symbol VAPN. VAPN through its wholly owned subsidiaries, currently operates as an agricultural technology, services, and property management company, utilizing a full vertical integration business model to oversee and execute all aspects of cultivation, extraction, manufacturing of both THC and CBD vape cartridges, concentrates, and edibles, retail dispensary, and wholesale distribution of high-margin cannabis THC and hemp CBD products. VAPN currently provides these management and marketing services in the state of Arizona and is planning on expansion plans through acquisitions and partnerships worldwide. Ty Nguyen, founder and CEO, commented that we're very excited to be listed on the CSE and begin our journey to build a world-class international operation that will work with licensed cannabis facilities to produce the highest quality products on a consistent basis. Our listing on the CSE is the beginning of a new era for VAPN as we have focused on perfecting the basics for the last 6 years and are excited for our aggressive expansion plans. So even though this company is only based in Arizona, the fact that they're now turning on the CSE is a big step up, as well as it's always interesting to see which companies are coming up to the market and sort of trying to establish themselves now and what they might be able to do. VAPN is on a significant revenue and profitability growth trend since 2016, and with our most recent fiscal calendar year having generated over $18 million in gross revenues with an EBITDA of excess of $6 million. So again, a new company coming out of Arizona looking for more international recognition, and we'll see where they go expansion-wise. Lastly, we're looking at CannTrust Holdings Incorporated, who announced that it's finalized a letter of intent with the Société Québécoise de Cannabis, or the SQDC, to provide Quebec with high-quality cannabis for the recreational market. This letter of intent signifies the first step towards a long and impactful relationship with the SQDC and the consumers in Quebec. This is an important milestone as we've secured national distribution across all 10 provinces for our adult-use provinces, said Peter Assetto, Chief Executive Officer of CannTrust. This will allow us to develop our brand presence in Quebec at a time when consumers are beginning to develop their preferences. So that comment there pretty much sums up why this is important. And I do agree with that comment, the last part there, that this is an important time where consumers are starting to develop preferences and actually pick brands. That's the trend that's happening in Canada as well as the US, where actual brands and recognition is starting to become a huge benefit for any company. And getting into those markets and getting people to actually see your product is a very important milestone for any company. So the fact that CanTrust now is in 10 provinces and they now have this exclusive letter of intent with the SQDC is an interesting development for them, and we'll see where their products can end up. That's all for today's podcast. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. That's all for today's podcast. Podcast is now a certified word trademark on the blockchain through Cognate Incorporated CM certification. InvestorIdeas.com podcasts are also available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play Music, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, and TuneIn. If you'd like to be a guest or sponsor of this podcast, please contact InvestorIdeas.com. Investor Ideas reminds all listeners to read our disclaimers and disclosures on the InvestorIdeas.com website, and this podcast is not an endorsement to buy products or services or securities. Investors are reminded that all investments involve risk and possible loss of investment. Investor Ideas does not condone the use of cannabis except where permissible by law. Our site does not possess, distribute, or sell cannabis products.